March 18th, 1925. A day etched in history. A day when nature struck with relentless force. The tri-state tornado remains the deadliest single tornado in U.S. history, claiming 695 lives, injuring over 2,000 more, and flattening entire towns across Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. This was no ordinary tornado. It traveled 219 miles on the ground, moving at speeds up to 70 miles per hour, and left a mile-wide path of destruction. This episode of Historic Tornado Files focuses on the meteorological setup, the tornado's devastating track, and the undeniable facts of this historic event. On the morning of March 18th, 1925, a powerful surface low-pressure system developed over northeastern Oklahoma. The barometric pressure dropped to around 1,003 millibars. A warm front extended east across the Midwest, while a trailing cold front pushed through Arkansas and Texas. Between these boundaries, a volatile mix of warm, moist air from the Gulf clashed with cooler, drier air from the plains. This produced high levels of atmospheric instability. Strong southerly winds advected warm air northward. At 500 millibars, a negatively tilted trough promoted upper-level divergence, enhancing lift and vertical wind shear. All critical ingredients for tornadic supercell development. By midday, a discrete supercell began forming in southeastern Missouri. Though no Doppler radar existed in 1925, today's reanalysis of the conditions reveals classic tornado outbreak signatures, strong Cape values, significant helicity, and sustained low-level inflow. Despite no formal warnings or watches, the storm system was already primed to produce something catastrophic. At approximately 1:01 p.m., the tornado touched down near Ellington, Missouri, in Reynolds County. From its origin, it intensified rapidly. Passing through Annapolis, it tore through forests and farmlands. In Beale and Frona, homes were shredded and barns reduced to debris fields. 11 people died in Missouri, and dozens more were injured. The tornado crossed the Mississippi River into Illinois, growing in intensity and size. Eyewitnesses in Missouri described it as a black wall of wind, wide, fast-moving, and consuming everything in its path. As it entered Illinois, the tornado reached its most lethal stage. The town of Gorham was the first to suffer, nearly obliterated, with a majority of homes destroyed and many residents killed instantly. In Murfreesboro, the toll was catastrophic. At least 234 people died, making it the single deadliest tornado strike on a U.S. city. Schools, homes, and factories were leveled. Fires broke out from broken gas lines, compounding the disaster. Rail cars were overturned. Hundreds of buildings were flattened. DeSoto was next. The tornado hit the school as classes were in session. 69 people perished, most of them children. Families searching for loved ones had to dig through rubble by hand. Continuing through the rural landscapes of southern Illinois, the tornado destroyed entire farms. It maintained EF 5-level strength, with winds estimated at over 300 miles per hour. Survivors reported being thrown hundreds of yards. In one case, a house was carried intact for over 100 feet before disintegrating. By the time the tornado exited Illinois, the damage was beyond calculation. Towns like West Frankfort and Parrish bore the scars for decades. Crossing the Wabash River into Indiana, the tornado remained deadly. Griffin, a small town, was struck hard. Nearly half the population was either killed or injured. Structures were leveled, telegraph lines were downed, making it difficult to coordinate relief efforts. Owensville and Princeton followed. The twister carved a path of ruin through these areas before lifting near Petersburg at approximately 4:30 p.m., after more than 3 hours on the ground. It traveled 219 miles uninterrupted, the longest continuous tornado track on record. In total, the tornado destroyed or damaged over 15,000 homes. More than 695 people were confirmed dead, but the real number may have been higher. Over 2,000 were injured. The monetary damage exceeded $17 million in 1925 dollars, nearly $300 million today. Railroads, telegraph systems, and highways were unusable. Relief convoys had to reroute through rural roads. The Red Cross and local aid groups worked for weeks to care for the wounded and bury the dead. Tents became temporary homes. Schools and churches were rebuilt from the ground up. And the emotional scars of that day would be passed down through generations. The tri-state tornado of 1925 reshaped how meteorologists studied severe storms. While the Weather Bureau would not implement tornado warnings for decades, the event highlighted the urgent need for research, awareness, and preparedness. Today, the tri-state tornado stands not only as the deadliest, but as a benchmark in meteorological history. Its intensity, duration, and sheer destruction remain unmatched. Studying this tornado informs how we respond to supercell threats today. It also reminds us of nature's raw power and the importance of never underestimating a storm. This has been Historic Tornado Files. Thank you for watching.